This isn't just a cult. This is a cabal. This is an assemblage. This is hurly-burly. This is disquiet. This is poetry. This is fiction. This is reality. This is bedlam. This is an equation. This is a process. This is Song Dismantler, where performers take apart their compositions and bit by bit reveal the tale of how they're made. My name is Björ6n Oranj. Bosky Rumbluffer is a singer, songwriter, multi-instrumentalist, producer, engineer, gun for hire, stunt car driver, and writer of Fleet auf meiner Nähe, a series of young adult novels which has sold nearly 500,000 copies in Germany and Austria. Hailing from Houndstooth, his solo catalog of studio albums numbers north of 50, either under his birth name or his pseudonyms, Sean McNamee and Patrick Porkpie. Another 70 or so albums can be added when including his work as a member of Anthem, Pop Creeps, the Halcyon Brothers, The Vanishing Spies, Revo, Disappointing Surprise, This Isn't Just a Cult, King Crimson, A Walking Symptom, Roving Bands of Blizzards, Bolognavirus, Ruptured Achilles, Joe Blob and His Ugly Buddies, Reptile Dysfunction, Slap and Tickle, Colon War, and Bow to Your Sensei. As a session musician, he has worked with artists such as Buckethead, Boston Spaceships, Kesha, Stillwater, Figrin Dian and the Modal Nodes, Sturgill Simpson, Beck, and Crucial Taunt. You've heard him on the soundtracks of movies like Grand Budapest Hotel, Rock and Roll Grade School, Everyone I Did Last Summer, E.T. the Extra Testicle, Life of Pi, and The Hateful Eight. I guarantee that you've heard plenty of his commercial jingles over the years. Like a Good Neighbor, I'm Lovin' It, $5 Footlong, and Get Your Hands Off My Dentures, Dirtbag, just to name a few. In the summer of 2019, Bosky released Pass the Lord and Praise the Ammunition, which some critics have called a track-by-track response to the Backstreet Boys' 2000 European limited edition bonus track version of Black and Blue. The third single from that release was the infectious Eat Your Soup and Shut the Fuck Up. Recently, we connected with Bosky to dismantle the song for us.
Hello, I'm Bosky Rumbluffer. I create music and sounds and a lot of recyclable materials. In January of 2019, I had just finished up some session work I had been doing with this new glitter bluegrass band called Commander Prairie Sparkles. They were super cool and paid cash, so that was really great. We had been recording at this old gas station that had been converted into a studio out in Seattle. Kind of simultaneously, I was doing a book tour for these young adult novels that I write in order to get money to buy things that I want or need. Anyway, after finishing the recording session, I head over to the book signing, where I run into Sven Asahi. We knew each other a bit. He was a fellow stunt guy. We had met a while back when I was Billy Bob Thornton's double and he was working for ZZ Top as Billy Gibbons' personal driver. Well, I guess that is really neither here nor there, but anyway, he was a big fan of my novels and he invited me to go skiing with him and some buddies who were also fans. Apparently, he had some sort of chalet up in the Cascades someplace. I was like, no thanks, dude. Not my cup of tea. I don't strap anything to my feet except Chuck Taylor's. He was cool about it and offered me a flask from his vest pocket. Well, the next thing you know, it's like 2 weeks later, and I wake up in this traction bed with my whole left leg in a cast and a big bandage wrapped around my noggin. Turns out that I do ski, and I'm pretty fucking good at it, given the proper amount of lubrication, if you know what I mean. I guess myself, Sven, a group of puppeteers, and members of a local cult ended up partying pretty hard for a while up there at the chalet. I don't remember any of this, but I saw some of the pictures. Me on a chairlift with a Bota bag with a couple of the string pullers, or me and Sven careening down the mountain with a flaming flag. I think that had something to do with the cult. Anyway, somewhere in there, I'm guessing some Molly was involved. We must have decided to build a sort of radio tower or something. Started dragging stuff out of the chalet, busted up Sven's snowmobiles. You know how these things go. Same old, same old. Most likely just trying to get closer to God, I'm sure. From what I saw in the pictures, Sven and I were at the top trying to cap the tower with this tinfoil dish we had created from patio furniture or something. Well, we must have tumbled. It looked like it was 30 feet or so, maybe more. I broke my leg in 7 places and banged up my skull pretty good too. Sven is dead. The cult members scattered immediately afterwards, because they always end up catching the blame in situations like this. I get it. I would have done the same thing. Luckily, the puppeteers were able to use their skills to set the bones and put me up in the traction bed so I could heal. Most of them took off down the mountain after the booze ran out, but Slim stayed back to keep me fed and make sure I didn't die. Sweet of her. I wouldn't have stuck around myself, but I'm kind of a surly bastard if you want to know the truth. So yes, you were asking about eat your soup and shut the fuck up. Well, let's see here. What the hell did happen there? Slim? Well, Slim found a CD of the Backstreet Boys' Black and Blue. We listened to it once on a boombox, and it was complete trash. Really fucking horrible. I'm not saying that just because I got fired from that gig. It's bad. Anyway, Slim knew how I felt about the album, and she started using it against me. I mean, like I said, I can get pretty surly. Come on, it was a bad situation. Stuck in a traction bed with a bum leg, set by Jim Henson wannabes. No smokes, no booze, no TV, and a stack of millennia-era boy band CDs. I wasn't great company, and Slim was just trying to help me out. So she would threaten to play the fucking Backstreet Boys every time I didn't want to do something. I was probably at my worst around mealtime. Sven had a pretty well-stocked pantry. Lots of canned goods. A fucking shit ton of condensed soup. Mostly low-sodium and fat-free varieties for some reason. Low-sodium mushroom, fat-free broccoli cheese, fat-free cream of celery, cream of asparagus, cream of onion, cream of potato, a lot of creamed stuff. And, you know, green pea, tomato rice, and clam chowder. They all pretty much sucked, especially after the 10th can. I mean, we were living on this stuff, like 5 to 6 cans a day. It's all we had. We were snowbound, and the fucking puppet masters had left with the van, and all we had was soup. Too much soup, man. Too much fucking soup. It really became the focus of all my discomfort. Some days I just refused. Slim knew I had to eat, so she would threaten me with the Backstreet Boys. At first it was just the boombox, and then it was like her renditions of it. like show tune or lullaby versions. I see you look at me when you think I'm not aware. You're searching for clues of just how deep my feelings are. How do you prove the sky is blue, the ocean's wide? All I know is what I feel when I look into your eyes. Fucking drove me crazy and she knew it. I'd eat the soup just to make her stop. So this goes on for a few weeks, and the whole soup thing circles from ire and rage to camaraderie, a kind of giddy punch drunkenness. Round and round and round. It was beginning to feel a bit like a cross between Stir Crazy and The Shining. Eventually, I found this app on my phone that I had completely forgotten about. It was this little DAW recording thing. Pretty much a lifesaver at this point.
DAW, D-A-W, or Digital Audio Workstation, is an electronic device or application software used for recording, editing, and producing audio files. Beginning with 1978's SoundStream, DAW has become the most popular way of recording music with applications like Ableton Live, Pro Tools, and GarageBand.
So I start fucking around with this thing because I've got nothing better to do. The sounds are kind of weak, but they can be manipulated if you have the time. I had the time. Sadly, I think I was influenced by those fucking Backstreet Boys songs, but I end up finding a pretty sweet little synth beat. Fuck around with it for a whole day, probably. Slim is in heaven because she doesn't have to listen to my whiny ass. So that becomes track 1, I guess. At that point, I really didn't know I was working on a song. Well, the next day, the track is still sounding pretty good, and I am the happiest I have been in weeks. You know, feeling creative. So I bounce around the app some more and find a bass loop that seems like it might work pretty well with what I had going previously. Before you know it, I've spent the whole day and night fucking around with the bass loop. Modulations, panning, you know, making it groove. This goes on for like a week or more. I'm not really sure. It's just snow, wind, soup, beat, repeat. At one point, we did lose electricity, and that really fucking sucked. Slim got a generator from the garage going, but I was worried that we would lose that. Without electricity, no app, no music. I was going to lose my mind. But after a couple of days, the power came back on. I wasn't the only one worried when we lost power. Slim knew my sanity kind of depended on my ability to use the app to work on my song. Ergo, her sanity too. Unbeknownst to me, she had found a closet with a bunch of abandoned instruments. Trumpet, trombone, a couple of saxes, a snare drum, a clarinet, and a flute. Oh, right, a guitar with a little Vox 5-watt amp! I have really no idea how these instruments ended up in Sven's closet, all disassembled, but I wouldn't be surprised if the Central Washington University Jazz Band had ended up at the chalet for a cocaine weekend that resulted in building a doomed tower to God. These things happen. It took Slim a couple of days with a headlamp to put all pieces back together. In between filling the generator with fuel, making soup, and listening to me bitch and moan while wiping my ass, she got all the instruments back together, cleaned them up, and, just as the electricity came back on, brought them into the living room where my bed was. Greatest day ever. The electricity was back. I could record again, and now all these toys. Fucking spectacular. First up was the trumpet. I hadn't played one in years, but you know, what the fuck? It's not that hard. I was just looking for a little spice. A couple of days later, I had pretty much figured out the clarinet. And the flute. The trombone is harder than it looks, actually, but after a few days I had it down pretty good. In the end, I scrapped the trombone part. It never really worked that well. At this point, I had something I was pretty happy with. The days were getting longer, and my legs seemed to be getting better. I was using a pair of makeshift crutches that Slim had produced, and it seemed like we were going to get out of there soon. Which was good, because we were down to this stash of orphan mystery cans that had lost their labels for our food supply. I have never been lyrically inclined. I tend to let my instrumentation do the talking, but I really felt like this song needed some lyrics. I had probably gone through 2 legal pads trying to write something. It was about this time that Slim calls me over to the dining room for lunch. I hobble in there and I look at this bowl of cream of what, I don't know. I was just so sick of it. I started up with my bitchin', and Slim was having none of it.
You just like the Suppenkasper. I don't want to eat my soup. Ich esse meine Suppe nicht. Der Suppenkasper. Sollst du dir mal die Story anschauen, ja? So, just eat your soup and shut the fuck up!
That's Simone Caress, famed puppeteer and former guitarist for the highly influential German experimental rock band Cylinder. During her time as Bosky's caregiver, he referred to her as Slim, although she does not know why, and repeatedly informed him that her name was Simone.
Well, that is when it came to me. Eat your soup and shut the fuck up. It was perfect. I spent the next couple of days rounding out the lyrics and then kind of sharpening them. I was really pleased with the end results. I would probably say they are some of the best lyrics I have ever written. Eat your soup and don't talk so loud. Eat your soup. Shit. Eat your soup and shut your mouth. You're coming off stupid, it just... Eat your soup and quiet down. Eat your soup. Damn! My phone actually has a pretty good mic in it. I spent an afternoon creating a sound booth using some blankets that I draped over a clothesline. I used an old kitchen strainer and a bandana for a pop screen. So I am in there practicing the vocals and checking the levels and everything when all of a sudden I hear this guitar float in. It was beautiful. I mean, it kind of took my breath away at first. Pulling a blanket back, sure enough, there's Slim with this mangled Epiphone that she had brought back to life and was now making sing like a bird. She hadn't said a word. I didn't know she was musical at all.
So like the whole time I was there with Bosky, having literally drawn the short straw when the other members of the Lapdog Mariner troupe took off with the van, I had been telling him that my name was Simone. Simone. Mein Name ist Simone, and I was a guitarist. I told him repeatedly that I was in Cylinder. This had become maddening since he often would blabber on how much he knew about music. He would say I didn't know a damn thing. Have you ever heard of Kraftwerk? Red Crayola, Tortoise, Ken, Cylinder. Cylinder is fantastic. You've really got to open your mind and expand your perspective. I was in Cylinder. Do you hear me? Do you hear me? Suppenkasper, I don't want to eat my soup. I was in Cylinder. I wrote the jiggle. I did the guitar solo on Elephants Have Eyelashes. Fuck off, Bosky. Fuck off.
The next thing I know, we are recording her guitar solo. Really amazing. Maybe it was beginner's luck, but I love a phenom story.
Here's Eat Your Soup and Shut the Fuck Up in its entirety by Bosky Rumbluffer, featuring Simone Caress of Cylinder.
Eat your soup and shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up and eat your soup. Eat your soup and shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up and eat your soup. Eat your soup and shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up and eat your soup. Eat your soup and shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up and eat your soup. Play it for me, Slim. Come on, one more time. All right, we're in another round. Shut the fuck up and eat your soup. Eat your soup. Shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up and eat your soup. Eat your soup. Shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up and eat your soup. Eat your soup. Shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up and eat your soup.
You have been listening to This Isn't Just a Cult, a work of real fiction. This episode was written, narrated, and produced by me, Björ6n Oranj. Bosky Rumbluffer provided the voice of Bosky Rumbluffer. The one and only Michi provided the voice of Simone Slim Caress. Eat Your Soup and Shut the Fuck Up by Bosky Rumbluffer is from the album Pass the Lord and Praise the Ammunition, which you can find on Bandcamp. Check the show notes for a link. Learn about this art collective at thisisn'tjustacult.com. This Isn't Just a Cult is a production of Higgins, Turner Higgins, LLC. Subscribing and reviews are greatly appreciated. Or, you know what? Maybe you could support this episode's sponsor, Bella Bella Burrito Bistro. Boy howdy, we want to bounce a big blast of appreciation to this bout's backer, Bella Bella Burrito Bistro. Beginning in Bakersfield, Bella Black bundled her Blue Bronco with the best burrito ingredients bucks can buy. Because business boomed, burrito buffs between Baltimore and Burbank, Birmingham and Boise can bask in the bounty of Bella Bella Burrito Bistro. Bright-eyed and bushy-tailed, how about the by-the-book Bella Bella Berry Berry, blackberries, boysenberries, blueberries, Belgian berries, brie, bacon, biscotti, buttermilk biscuits, banana bread, birthday cake, and brown sugar, all tended in a tantalizing toasted tortilla. Bats in the belfry? Bite the bullet with the bitchin' bad bazooker. black beans, brown rice, buffalo mozzarella, butterfingers, and brain-boosting bok choy, all tended in a tantalizing toasted tortilla. Begging for bread with bated breath? How about a bohunk beatnik bloke? Bologna, butter, barrel-aged barbecue beef, baked beans, baguette, breadfruit, bread pudding, breadsticks, banh mi, and barbecue sauce, all tended in a tantalizing toasted tortilla. Basic bulk for bigger biceps? Bolt the beyond belief bling-bling bulging brute bomber. Beef, beef brisket, Brazilian beef, Brazil nuts, baby back ribs, blackened bass, black-eyed peas, burrata, broiled bison, roasted bear, bolognese sauce, and 2 bean burritos, all tended in a tantalizing toasted tortilla. Back to basics, bee in your bonnet beast booster? No problemo. Bash the beefless. Barnless birds and bees agree, Babylon boogie Buddha. Barley, bean curd, beetroots, bulgur, bean sprouts, bamboo, broccoli, and buckwheat, all tended in a tantalizing toasted tortilla. Blabbermouths, bad book bastards, and Burmese bus drivers belly up for the below-the-belt buckaroo bonsai blimp. Baba ganoush, bruschetta, broiled bell peppers, baked butternut squash, balsamic Brussels sprouts, basil, bay leaves, and black pepper, all tended in a tantalizing toasted tortilla. Baby boomers and backroom boys bear hug bedtime with our bygones be bygones bottom-up burrito. Bourbon, brandy, beer, basmati rice, blood sausage, and black olives, all tended in a tantalizing toasted tortilla, tossed in a blender, and served in a bong. Be a burrito backer and blast your big-ass backside down to Bella Bella Burrito Bistro. Bring up This Isn't Just a Cult and bank big bucks. Bella Bella Burrito Bistro. Board bestowed, better than bad burritos. Okay, that about sums up this episode. Remember, in a world where dishonesty, treachery, cheating, and fraud seem to be tickets for success, there is you, doing the best that you can to be a decent human being, because being a decent human being is the actual goal. Good on you. Thanks. With that, we are going to leave you with one more from Bosky Rumbluffer. Here is Someone Said I Love You from the Best of Bosky collection, Buffet.
When we're out walking together, I hear someone
Thanks for listening.